Well, guys, it's finally happened. Korra is back! Yes! Woo! Finally! I mean, it's seemed like ages since we last saw this show, and saw Korra and the gang save the day, beat Amon, and gain the power to use wind bending. Awesome. And now we finally have Book 2 Spirits. And was this worth the wait? Absolutely. These first 2 episodes were great. I mean, wow, were they great. First thing first, I want to give my impressions of this, so I have to spoil a lot of stuff that happens in these 2 episodes. So if you haven't seen them, please go and watch them. They are awesome. Please go watch them. Then if you want to come back and listen to my impression of it. So episode 1 was called Rebel Spirit, and it picks up It picks up 6 months after Endgame, which was the season finale of Book 1 Wind. And now we find Korra is still training to be Avatar, and Mako is now cop, and Bolin is still with the Fire Ferrets, but they really, really suck now, which I thought was pretty funny. And right away, the first thing that hit me about this episode was the animation. It's so beautiful. It really is unnecessary to compliment the animation from this series, because you kind of expect it, because the animation in Avatar: The Last Airbender was fantastic, and now it's even better here. I mean, this is top quality animation. I hope these animators are being paid top dollar for this, because they continue. Their work gets better and better and better with every episode, every series. This is incredible. And the environments are gorgeous, breathtaking to look at. I could stare at the storyboards of this stuff for days on end, and I wouldn't get tired of it. And the facial animation of these characters is great. The action scenes are drawn extremely well, and they're choreographed extremely well too. And the vocal work, of course, from Janet Varney, who is Korra, she's fantastic. She is so good in this role. I can't think of anyone else who could do a better job. And everyone gives a great vocal performance. One thing I was a little disappointed with in this episode was the music. And while the music is by no means bad, it's just kind of forgettable compared to the music from Book 1. But we've still got a lot of episodes left where they could blow me away with the music, and I really hope they do, because I love the music in this series, and I loved it back in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And another thing I really loved about this episode is that Korra has really matured since the last episode, but she still retains that childlike side to her, which I think is why I love her so much. She's such an amazing character, but she's matured, and there are situations in this where she's got to put her foot down and say, no, this is what we're going to do, because I am the Avatar and it is my responsibility, so I'm going to make the decisions. And I really admired that from her. Mako has grown a lot more interesting. Like I said, he's a cop now, briefly shown, which was actually pretty cool to see. And Bolin is still hilarious, and he develops this really strange relationship with Korra's cousin Eska, and that dynamic provides some of the biggest laughs in this episode. It is so quotable, the dialogue between these two. So funny. And the humor in this episode, still fantastic. It's still sharply written, and it's hilarious. Even if it can get a little overboard at times, especially with the Varric character, who was the businessman. A lot of kids shows these days have to, I feel like too many kids shows these days focus way too much on hyperactive humor, where it does not know when to slow down and actually tell a story. And even Korra can sometimes fall into this trap, but it's actually normally really funny. Varric, funny, yes, but way too much screen time in this episode. Way too much. And it was really nice seeing Asami again. I really liked her character from the first book, which was awesome. And in this episode, Korra finds out that the spirits are not happy with the Southern Water Tribe, and they're kind of attacking, and they are attacking them. So Korra now has to learn how to spirit bend, basically, from her uncle, which she leaves Tenzin's training to go with her uncle, which I thought was really sad that she made Tenzin leave, because Tenzin to her is kind of like another father figure, and it made me sad. It was heartbreaking to watch Tenzin go, "It has been an honor to serve you, Avatar Korra," and just leave. Man, it's just... I know it's going to be okay later on. They're going to get back together, like, as a team, but, you know, it was still really tough to watch. And so, yeah, this was a great episode, and it moves on to, because we gotta have another, thankfully they put another episode in for this season premiere. Episode 2, The Southern Lights, and again, animation, amazing. So good. And this time it focuses a lot on Korra, Mako, Bolin, her uncle, her dad, and those weird twins going to the Northern Water Tribe for her uncle, Korra's uncle, to train her in communicating with the spirits. So this time we get a little bit of backstory for Korra's dad, why he got banished from the Northern Water Tribe. And it was actually really interesting. It shows that he, in order to capture a ruthless gang of raiders, he had to basically decimate a spirit forest. And for that reason, the spirits got really angry with the Northern Water Tribe and wreaked all havoc on it. Thankfully, they warded them off thanks to the uncle, but Korra's dad was still banished because he gave the order to invade the forest, and that in turn caused all this damage. So, I liked that it was a legitimate reason why he didn't want Korra to go to the Northern Water Tribe, because he doesn't want her to experience the shame that he had to go through. And it was actually a really nice father-daughter moment where you understand where Korra's coming from, and you understand where the dad's coming from. It's an equally balanced conflict where not one side is out of whack, and you understand both sides, and it's just another great example of the writing in this show where character interaction is almost flawless. And in this episode I really liked how the relationship between Korra and Mako seems to be much more interesting and believable than it was back in Book 1. In Book 1, I felt it was a really cool subplot, but at times it could get a little too much so. I think it was on screen a little too much, and how Mako can dump Asami for Korra, that was a bit hard to swallow, but, you know, okay, it's a TV show, and, you know, these main characters, she's gotta have a love interest, so might as well be Mako. And I kind of felt like Korra went a little bit too far in instructing her dad to leave. Not leave me alone. No, you need to leave the group and go back to the Southern Water Tribe. Which, man, that was really tough to watch. I mean, and to hear just the resentment and power in her voice by saying, "Dad, you need to go." And it really felt like she had kind of overstepped her bounds at that point. Because after all, she is, even though she still is the Avatar, she still is his daughter. And, you know, he obeyed. He left. So, hey. And I liked how she has mixed feelings about it afterwards. But she's not kind of going, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that." She just says, "Do you think I did the right thing?" And of course Mako gives a very nice answer. And I also really thought the way she goes into the middle of the forest to unlock the spirit portal was actually really cool. And even though it was a bit generic, kind of, that's a minor nitpick, that she didn't really use more spiritual technique as of, like, physical, where I really thought it was going to be something really cool and special and metaphysical going into this basically another spirit forest, but it really wasn't anything mind-blowingly amazing like the Guru. I expected something like what Aang went through in the Guru episode back in Last Airbender. Something like that, where it's you search deep inside yourself to wield the power to unlock the spirit portal. But all it really was just going into the Avatar state and touching the ground. Which, you know, it looked cool, but I thought it could have been something more special. And the way the night sky lit up, wow, that was gorgeous too. I also, a couple of things before I sign off is Jinora, who is I hope that's how I'm pronouncing it right, which is Tenzin's oldest daughter. I think she has some kind of strange connection to the first Avatar, because she's compelled to wake up at night and go to the statue room and look at the statue of the Avatar, which was actually really cool, and that could lead to something really, really neat with her character having a spiritual bond with the first Avatar in order to help Korra get in contact with him. Which is, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I mean, I hope that's what's going to happen. And there's also a great little teaser at the end that there's something way more sinister going on with the Northern Water Tribe than what Korra's uncle wants to tell her. And I'm predicting war, people. I'm predicting a war, maybe a civil war. We'll see. And that will definitely be interesting to watch. And my last thought before I sign off, am I the only one who immediately thought of the Heartless when those spirits first appeared? I mean, I thought Korra's uncle was going to give her a Keyblade and say, you know, go at them, Korra. You got to send those hearts to the dark world. Send them back to where they came from. Use the Keyblade. Man, that'd be cool. A Legend of Korra and Kingdom Hearts team up. But that would just be like geek heaven overload. Man, that would be awesome. Seriously. Someone write a TV show about that. I'd be like the first one to go, I'm watching this shit. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Have a good one.